What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel today and welcome to episode number 4 of our 2024 Tacoma TRD Offroad build. We're gonna have some fun today as we head over to the Cleghorn Trail to get some dirt therapy. Well, more like mud therapy today as it is and has been raining. The 2N47 Cleghorn Trail is always one of our favorites. It's not that far from the shop, under an hour, and it's fun for everyone. From beginners to advanced drivers, there's good action for everyone. If you're not down like James Brown, you can always take the easy way out and stick to the fire road. If you want to put your rig to the test and see what it's capable of, there are so many gnarly offshoots to try. The trail is roughly 15 miles long as it starts at the Cleghorn exit off of the 15 freeway in the Cajon Pass and runs through to Highway 138 on the opposite side by Silverwood Lake. This trail is rated easy to moderately difficult. Before we dive any deeper into the trail run, we want to send some quick shoutouts to our industry partners that helped us get the 4th gen to where it is today. King Shocks provided us with the first ever aftermarket suspension lift setup for the new Tacoma. CAMBURG Racing dialed in our suspension by supplying us with their Kinetik billet upper control arms and all 4 upper and lower rear billet links. Of course, we can't forget about Prinsu Design, Baja Designs, KMC wheels, Toyo tires, ARB 4x4, and the original Cali Rays LED guys from Texas. We're nowhere near done yet and are waiting on a lot of other new parts that are slowly trickling in. You hear the sound of that? We've pulled up to the starting point of the Cleghorn Ridge OHV Trail and are now airing down and getting ready for some fun. We didn't expect there to be any rain today, but we've just found out, and there's no way we'd cancel. This just means we'd have more fun in the muddy trails. We're excited to see what the new Tacoma is capable of, and we want to see if we can break anything like that Blue Crush metallic Tacoma Trd Offroad did. I'm sure you guys have seen that one by now. It went viral and we received a ton of messages on our social media accounts saying that we need to be careful with the 35. Well, let's see if we break anything today. If you guys have been up to Cleghorn before, then you know it's mainly a fire road with some offshoots for those that want to turn it up a notch and have some extra fun. There are some pretty gnarly ones where people have actually flipped over, and we get pretty close to that. We'll show you that in a bit.
Hey, I think I'm tipping over, guys.
We're up here today with a couple V6s and V8s. The new Tacoma is here to prove that it isn't missing anything but just 2 to 4 cylinders, and in place of that, has a whole lot more torque at lower RPMs with the help of the new turbo and 8-speed automatic transmission. We hit our first offshoot and our buddy with the 5th generation 4Runner is taking it head on first. Easy peasy. This one's a well-known offshoot as you will end up right under a transmission tower. You can hear the A-track working on this runner as it climbs up this rutted out trail. For those that are not familiar, this active traction control system detects when one or more wheels have lost traction and automatically applies the brakes, allowing it to redistribute torque as needed to the wheels with traction. Next up, it's my turn. The 4th generation Tacoma now has a significantly quieter crawl control compared to the previous years. The system works in conjunction with the vehicle's traction control, stability control, electronic throttle control, and anti-lock braking systems to deliver the best trail quote-unquote cruise control system. The system is so cool, does most of the work. So once engaged, I'm more focused on taking the right lines and steering, and the crawl control does the rest. The intelligent wheel slip control continuously monitors wheel spin and adjusts power delivery to each wheel. It allows the vehicle to maintain the best traction possible on any terrain while moving the vehicle forward. Next up, we have a gentleman that we met out here that day. Mike was a cool dude. Said he picked up the GX from NorCal about a month ago, so he decided to take his family out. He rolled in with another group of rigs that set up a trail run on the forums, but they didn't want to try any obstacles. They just wanted to run the fire road only. Well, Mike wasn't about that. He was here to see what his GX was capable of, and we welcomed him along to join us since we all know it is definitely not safe to run any trail alone. You never know what you're going to get yourself into. Well, here's Mike's first try. He didn't gain enough momentum. The moment he let off, he started teetering and lost traction. He backed up and asked if we think he should try it again. My response was, I mean, if it was me, I would. And of course, he went at it again. We told him to try a different line, and it was cake. He made it right up after that. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Got it. Nice. Yeah, you got it all the way. You're good. Next up, we have our boy Sergio with his 3rd generation Tacoma Trd Offroad 4x4 in quicksand. He's activated crawl control and his rear lockers, and he's coming right up. He picked up this Tacoma recently, so he's like me, no rock sliders yet. But we know these rutted out trails aren't too bad. We're both willing to take the risk. I'm waiting on my rock sliders to come in next week. After today, I think we've convinced him to get rock sliders ASAP too, especially since we have them in stock at 88. Needless to say, I'm sure you already see that we've installed some King shocks on here with Camburg upper control arms. He's currently on some SCS wheels with some 295 70/17 tires. Next up, we have our buddy Alan with his 2022 Lexus GX460. He's on a Fox 2.5 DSC setup with Camburg Kinetik billet uniball upper control arms up front with Old Man Emu rear lift springs with 2.0 Resi rear shocks. Quick shout out to KMC Wheels for supplying us with these newly released hatchet wheels shown here in metallic blue. Next, we're joining back on the fire road for another scenic drive to our next obstacle. Rain was still on and off that day. It started out bad when we first got there, but it stopped for a bit at this moment here. Here's a little hill climb that we did. Once we got to the top, Alan went on the radio and told me to stop and not move. He said it was a nice shot of the taco and to come out and snap a pic of it. He was right, but I'm not so much of a photo guy. I like watching videos, so this is what I captured. We make it to our next offshoot. Johnny goes first again in his 4Runner. Equipped with the King 2.5 shocks with compression adjusters, Icon delta joint upper control arms, and Dobson rear springs, he easily takes on the obstacle while activating A-track on 4 low. He's also running 35-inch tires on BEADLOCK wheels, so he was able to air down just a tad bit under 10 psi safely. The 4th Gen Taco is also on beadlocks from KMC wheels. These are forged impact beadlock wheels in 17x9 with a positive 25 offset. I'm running a 35, 12.5, 17 TOYO Open Country mud terrain tire on them. I've done a few videos on this truck already, and we'd love getting those comments from the haters that know nothing about it, saying that the turbos are gonna blow in the first 200 miles, guaranteed. They even capitalize guaranteed like they planted a bomb in the turbo so it can explode on me before I hit 200 miles or something. Well, I drove this thing from Vegas when I bought it, then I drove it back out to Vegas for the Mint 400, and then back from Vegas again. I've been purposely daily driving this one too, just for fun. I picked up parts in it, I've let other companies use it to prototype parts on it, and with nearly 1,800 miles on it within the first 4 weeks, I can tell you my engine is not blown. Toyota just wouldn't screw themselves over by doing this. They've done rigorous testing on these motors and they outperformed the 3.5 liter V6 in all performance numbers while matching the same 278 horsepower. And we're not even talking about the hybrid motor yet that's going to be way quicker. The low peak torque hits at 1700 RPM, giving it 317 pound-foot of torque on here. 0 to 60 time is less, MPG is higher. Needless to say, Toyota is going forward, not backwards with this new motor. And that's coming from someone that's owned other V6 and V8 Toyota trucks. Here's Mike with his GX again, making it look so simple conquering this offshoot. As we get deeper into the Cleghorn Ridge Trail, it gets higher and the rain starts coming back. Temperatures dropped to 41 degrees Fahrenheit that day and the fog started to build up. Back in the 24 Tacoma again. In order to activate crawl control, you must be in 4 low, so we're switching to that while in neutral. We go back in gear and hit the crawl button, and the cool display shows up here. We're able to adjust the speed and the magic begins the moment we let go of the brakes. While in crawl control, tapping the brakes will continue to slow it down and hitting the gas will also speed it up a little bit. Once we let off gas, it goes back into the same speed as we have set. Like we said, it pretty much feels like a cruise control for the hill climb. You can also adjust the speed on the fly by turning the knob as there are 5 different preset speed settings. Another concern I had about this truck before owning it was the new electronic power steering. Replacing its previous hydraulic counterpart that allowed you to feel very much of the road and steering, I thought it just wouldn't be right. But after driving this, especially today, I realized that Toyota did a great thing with it. We're getting all the benefits of an e-power steering and not losing any of the driver feel. If we drop into a rut, the steering wheel still gets that kick that requires you to hold the wheel in place. There's not much of a difference between that kick and one from a hydraulic system, and that right there is exactly what you don't want to lose. To maximize performance of the rear 4-link suspension, we installed a set of King 2.5 remote finned reservoir shocks on here with compression adjusters. King also provided the rear sway bar and links. CAMBURG Racing provided us with all 4 Kinetik billet upper and lower trailing arms to maximize articulation and increase wheel travel. These trailing arms come equipped with 1-inch FK uniball bearing pivots. Alan is having a great time wheeling in his GX460, but as temperatures drop and the fog starts to build up, trouble is right up ahead for him when he misses his line. Not sure if you guys remember our boy Sergio, but if you were with us since back in the car days, he used to rep 88 hard with his wicked Evo 9. And here's Mike again coming up in his GX. He's about to 3-wheel it, but he follows through this time and doesn't lose momentum. This one was cake for him.
The higher we go, the foggier it gets. There you go.
The The rain is starting to come down again and visibility is reduced. Without our radios, we wouldn't be able to visually see the person completing the offshoot in front of us. They just go into the fog and we wait to hear confirmation that the next person is cleared to move forward. Here, the GX460 takes the lead so that he can record the rest of us coming up once he's at the top. He slowly disappears into the fog as we all wait. We've done this trail before many times and this one was never anything ever considered close to risky. And then...
Hey, I think I'm tipping over, guys.
What?
Without a spotter, Alan hits a ditch. We all threw our vehicles in park and ran up to help.
Just don't move.
At this point, he shouldn't even be breathing, he shouldn't be scratching his nose, and shouldn't even be passing gas for that matter. Any movement seems dangerous. It doesn't seem so bad on camera, but it was pretty close to tipping over. We decided to bring the 4Runner up so we can winch and anchor him as he tries to get out of the ditch. It's better safe than sorry to go this route than have him attempt it and dig himself into a bigger hole. As you can clearly see, the wind started picking up. It was getting pretty darn cold up here and the fog became super thick. Sergio is connecting a soft shackle to the recovery point before we link it up to the winch on a hard shackle. We've positioned the 4Runner on an incline to safely anchor the GX so that he can get himself out of this rut. Literally. We're actually not winching him out. We're keeping the line straight and tight, but letting Alan drive himself out. At this point, Alan's pretty much in the clear. He got himself out of this one.
Okay, that's good. Keep going, keep going. Slowly. Hey, let me take this off. You're good.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're all glad that ordeal is finally over. One wrong move and it would have been bad in his position with all that mud and dirt. Quickly after, the rain came down heavily on us. We get back on the fire road and continue on.
Hey, you know what? I was at 400.
I love fast desert speed runs. This isn't a desert and I wish I have a long travel set up already, but I don't, but I will just make the best of it. I find an open path that circles around the mountain and since I don't see any oncoming traffic coming from the other side, it was safe enough for me to smash through. If you haven't been to the Cleghorn Trail, it's something you should consider. It's great because it's not too far from the shop, and if you're from around the area, you'll know why. There aren't that many cool trails in the area. Most are quite a ways out. So whenever I want to get on some dirt, these and a few around here are always my go-to. Have a good trail that you like, drop a comment down below and share it with us. What's great with this trail is that you end up at Silverwood Lake with a breathtaking view like this. Another great trail I like in this area is Pilot Rock. It gets you even closer to Silverwood Lake. Maybe we'll hit that one next. That one ends up in the Lake Arrowhead area and is great for camping also. And here we are wrapping up the trail run. We end up over here by Highway 138. It's time to air back up and head on home. My hands were tied, so I didn't catch any footage, but to air up, I used my custom-mounted dual ARB compressor in the truck bed with an in-deflate 4-hose system. I was able to air up and go from under 10 psi to 35 quickly and easily with time to spare to record the guys still airing up. If you want that system for your truck, we have plenty in stock and also have them on our website at 88rotorsoffroad.com. Overall, the new Tacoma did great. Nothing broke. Power was all there to overtake any obstacle, the crawl control was so quiet and flawless, the truck with my upgrades made it feel like I can conquer anything. I have rock sliders and skid plates in the works, so those will be going on next, and I'll be a lot more brave when they're on. We'll aim to hit the next trail on a Sunday. That way, the whole shop and 88 crew can go. This was a spontaneous run with a small group, but nonetheless, great people and great times. And before we go, just want to send a quick shout out to 3D Mats USA for providing us with these. They came in clutch installing these for us the day before we went out. And that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Check out episode 1, 2, and 3. I'll drop the links in the description. We have the Tacoma over at Banks Power right now doing some R&D. You won't want to see what products they're coming up with for the new 4th Gen Tacoma. We also have a ton more parts coming from our boys over at the original Cali Rays LED in Texas. We'll install and do an update video on those next. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.